Welcome to class 9 students. This is the continuation part of the chapter movement of water, minerals, foods and gases. In my previous video I have discussed with you till active transport. I hope you have understood everything regarding the types of transport. Just giving you a small recap. There are two types of transport in case of plants, passive transport and active transport. The passive transport is again of two types, diffusion and osmosis, and the other category of transport is active transport. And the main difference between passive and active transport is that passive transport does not require any external energy or carrier proteins, and it is a spontaneous movement of the atoms, and also the movement is along the concentration gradient. But on the other hand, active transport is against the concentration gradient, and here external energy expenditure and carrier proteins are involved for the solute or the ion or the molecule to move from one part of the membrane to the other part. Okay, so till this much we have done. I hope it is clear to everybody. Now let's talk about the next topic, which is ascent of sap. What is sap? You have learned sap previously while you were learning about cell in the cell chapter. Sap is basically the watery fluid consisting of minerals and nutrients which are present within the cell, specifically within the vacuoles of the cells. Okay, so basically sap is a watery fluid consisting of minerals and nutrients. Now the meaning of ascent. Ascent means to go up, go up. Okay, so ascent of sap, when this sap goes up, that is known as ascent of sap. Let's read the definition from the book, then you will understand it better. Water inside the plant body is not pure water, it is dissolved with minerals, that is sap. So here they have first defined what is sap. It is not pure water, it is mixed up or dissolved, it has dissolved minerals in it and giving it the name of sap. Now the upward movement of water, you can skip water here and you can write sap. The upward movement of sap from roots towards the tips of stem, branches and their leaves is known as ascent of sap. The plants absorb water and minerals from the soil through the root hairs. Now through the xylem column, through the xylem vessel, this water consisting of minerals from the soil goes up to the different parts of the plant body, like the leaves and the growing parts of the stem and all that. So that upward movement of the water which is dissolved with minerals is known as ascent of sap. Okay, it occurs through the xylem vessels and the tracheids. So in this topic, under this topic of ascent of sap, you will read till this much. Okay, moving on to the next topic is under this topic only, the mechanism of ascent of sap, how this ascent of sap takes place. Now different scientists have given different theories of ascent of sap mechanism. The first one is the root pressure theory. And the next one is a bigger name. I am writing in short: cohesion, tension and transpiration pull. I am writing everything in short. Theory: cohesion, tension and transpiration pull theory. Okay, now talking about the first one, root pressure theory. This theory was given by Priestley. You have to learn the name of the theory and the scientist who gave this theory very well. Next, from root pressure theory we will learn what is root pressure. You don't have to learn the whole paragraph, you will learn only what is root pressure. A pressure developing in the tracheary elements of xylem due to metabolic activities of the root is known as root pressure. The pressure is developed due to active water absorption, and this pressure is maximum, and that means there is the most pressure in the roots during the rainy season because the soil is full of water particles. The spaces between the soil particles is full of water, and that is why this root pressure is high, is at its maximum during the rainy season. Okay, so from root pressure theory we will obviously learn the name of the theory, the scientist who gave the theory, and the definition of root pressure. Okay, coming to the next theory, cohesion, tension and transpiration pool theory. Here you will only learn the name of the scientists. Two scientists have given this theory, Dickson and Joly. Nothing from this topic, from this page, but we have a few more topics left from this chapter, very small and easy topics. Let's complete those. There are two forces that work within the xylem vessel. Okay, one is the cohesion force and the next one is the adhesion force. Now, according to the second theory, that means the cohesion, tension and transpiration pool theory, there is a continuous column of water from root through the stem into the leaf. Suppose this is the xylem. Okay, and continuously water molecules are passing through the xylem. Okay, now water molecules remain attached to one another. As you can see that the water molecules remain attached to each other by a strong mutual force of attraction. The water molecules are mutually attracted towards each other, known as cohesion force. This one, this force of attraction is known as cohesion force. Okay, this is due to the hydrogen bonds formed among adjacent water molecules. Adjacent water molecules form hydrogen bonds among themselves, which cause this mutual attraction between the two adjacent water molecules. Now coming to the second one, adhesion force. This is between the wall of the xylem and the one water molecule. Okay, here this is known as adhesion force. Okay, so these two things you will learn from the book. Let's read what is adhesion force. There is another force called adhesion force between the walls of the tracheary elements. Means tracheary elements means which is another, means one of the components of xylem, trachea, and water molecules. So the force of attraction, mutual force of attraction between the wall of the xylem and the single, means each water molecule has this adhesion force with the wall of the xylem. Okay, this ensured the continuity of water column in the xylem. So the continuous water column in the xylem from the root tip to the stem tip cannot be broken easily by force of gravity. Means gravity is towards, means downwards, right, and this water column is going upwards, that is against the gravity. So to keep the water column continuous so that it is not broken as a result of gravity, these type of two forces, adhesion force and cohesion forces, are there so that there is continuous water movement through the xylem. Okay, next we have source and sink. Source is basically the green leaves and the young stems which perform photosynthesis and where glucose is produced. That means it is a source of food for the plant. And sink is regarded as those parts of the plant body to which this produced food is transported for the need, metabolic need of the plant body or for storage purpose. Means source and sink, these are the two terms that you need to learn. And then you have the mass flow hypothesis. You don't need to learn anything from mass flow hypothesis, just learn the name of the theory and the scientist who gave it. Mass flow hypothesis was given by Munch. Okay, so here we end this chapter of movement of water, minerals, foods and gases. In the next video I will start talking about respiration. That is also a big chapter. I hope this chapter is clear to everybody. Okay, thank you.